Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 5 of the Church of Marketing. Today we're going to be talking about some awesome stuff, but my name's Connor Wright. This is Jake Lewis. And we're going to be talking about today how to hire the right content creator for your business. But first, if you haven't already tried it, go try Scylla. Tastes delicious. Electrolytes that you need every single day, and it's amazing. So go do it.
Yep.
Now,
I drink a bottle like every morning, but it's good stuff.
I drink like 3.
Do you?
Well,
I don't just do the stable, right? I'll do the stride for when I go on runs. And anyways, it's good stuff. Check it out.
Yes.
But in honor of talking about, content creation, picking the right, media production company, all that, I wore my content creator hat, my no brim. But you and I have talked a lot about this, and so many business owners have been burned by creatives, and right, as a creative, I'm gonna throw in the defense for the creatives and go, it's not necessarily the creative's fault, and it's not necessarily the business owner's fault. I think it's a misunderstanding of what the role of the content creator is.
Yes.
And obviously this is a podcast about marketing, content creation, media, all of that is a tool to be used in marketing. And I think we'll dive in a little more into detail. I'm sure you and I have a lot of stories and anecdotes we can throw out there. But when you're hiring a videographer, a freelancer, a media production company, whoever it is that's helping you make content, they are not, and their responsibility is not to be a marketer. That's not what they're good at. Most of the time, you aren't going to find a videographer, a content creator, a media production team that is good at marketing, understands basic marketing principles, understands advertising. I'm not saying they aren't out there. I'm now one of them who understands that side of marketing more. Jeff does, and I know a handful of others who.
I mean, to be fair, you hang out with me a lot.
We do, yes. But that has been such a benefit because I remember, as a videographer and creative, our job is to execute on a vision, make something look good, tell a story, evoke emotion, create UGC that tells a story.
Yep.
But it's the goal of the marketer, or in a company's case, it's the goal of the marketing team, a fractional CMO, a CMO, whatever, to help the videographers understand what their video and content is going to be used for, to work with them in developing the messaging, developing the audience that they're going to be targeting, develop the use case of the content. It goes back to your 3 pillars, right?
Yeah.
Creative's that middle one. The audience, that is not the creator's job. The creator's job is to create the content, but we also, we can do our jobs better as creatives if we understand who the audience is and we understand where this content is being used and how it's being used. So at a previous place I was employed, I was running the entire media production side of things. We were doing podcasts, we did live broadcast shows, we did all of the paid advertising, the social media, website content, everything that a media production team could be doing. We did that. We did all the graphics. We were doing everything. And one of the problems I noticed very early on was the company was expecting my team. They would just come and go, we need a 30-second 9:16 video for a paid ad. And and again, they weren't just coming to us. We would also get, electronic requests through, a project management system. And I would sit there and would look at that and I go, I'll be right back. And I would walk off to the marketing side and go, this isn't what my team needs to do our jobs. If you want my editors to crank something out and crank it out quickly, which is usually what they were expecting, we needed every little detail. Is this for TikTok? Is this for Instagram? Is this a paid ad? Is this for Facebook? Where is this being used? Because we got to understand dimensions, we got to understand frame rates. There's all those kind of details, the technical stuff we got to know. What are we advertising for? Oh, it's just for a tournament. Cool, okay. When is it? Where is it? Who are we targeting? What's the problem we're trying to solve? What are we telling them? Oh, well, we want them to come. Cool. It's your job to write the messaging and the script, and then it's our job to take that and execute it, right? The creatives are the executors. We're going to take what you're trying to accomplish. We're going to make it look pretty. We're going to make it eye-catching. We're going to do cool captions. We're going to do whatever you want, and then some. But it's not our job to sit down and go, cool, who are we marketing to? Let's write a script, and then let's also make sure that it gets used on the back end. We are just the executors on the creation of the content. It's marketing's job to understand the front end, the audience, the customer base, the problem we're solving. We execute, and then we also have to know the destination, and then marketing has to take it and make sure it's working, right? And then there's collaboration, right? Occasionally I would go, hey, maybe that wording's not the best for this format of video. It's too many words. It doesn't look good. Is there a way to rewrite it? Then there was collaboration where we were able to create the best type of ads, the best kind of videos for them. But it was the expectation that the content creation team was not only the media experts, the editing experts, we were also expected to be the marketers. And that's what a lot of business owners expect these freelance videographers, photographers, production companies to be, is, hey, we expect you to make something that looks cool, but it needs to do the job. We need you to write the script. We need you to understand our, demographics and the problems we're solving, which content creators can do. They're perfectly capable of that, but that's not where they provide the most value. It takes more time and more effort for us to go into a company that we just met, understand the brand, understand the customer base, understand everything, if we're not getting some collaboration with the business or that business's marketing department. It's all about collaboration, and when you get that, then the load is not only shared a little better, and frankly, content creators that we didn't get into video necessarily. Not everybody. Again, there's generalizations, but we didn't get into video to go, cool, I'm going to analyze your ads and your audience, and that's not what we do.
If you're hoping for somebody who can do everything,
you're going to be searching a little longer,
forever. And I think this is I think you painted that beautifully. Like the job, like there's a lot of roles that come into. And I'm coming from the business and the marketing side, coming in and learning more, ever since, opening up the production company, SIPO Studios, and like running ads for clients, and then bringing, for our agency, our advertising agency, Rep Labs, bringing, content creation in-house as well for advertising and stuff. I get where the business owners come from, and now I get where the videographers come from. And, early in the career when I was more on the business owner side of it, I would talk to a video person. I'd be like, I need you to make me an ad. And they'd be like, cool, I can make you an ad. And they're like, and then they'd go make something. And then I get it back and I'd run it as an ad and it wouldn't perform well. I didn't know, why they did it the way they did or anything. But it turns out, you know how to make a video, you know how to get the lighting right? You know how to do the editing software. You know how to find actors and models and everything. But they have no idea. They have no training on what makes a great ad, and that's
from the marketing side.
From the marketing side. But they know how to make a video.
Yes.
And that's where business owners get frustrated, I think, is because they expect someone who says, I can make you a video ad, to understand how to make a video ad that performs and drives a positive ROI. That's it. Those are different. You're speaking different languages, trying to get the same thing, which, I've been on that end quite a bit as the business owner now. Like, I have an appreciation for understanding how it really works.
Yeah.
Because like a videographer, and I've had this conversation where I was like, hey, I need you to make me an ad. And they're like, okay, well, show me some examples of ads you like. Show them a Nike ad. You show them a commercial. You show them something, and they're like, cool, I'll go try and make that ad. So they just kind of copy. They still like an artist, right? Same kind of cut, same kind of transition, same cut lighting and everything. That doesn't mean it's going to transition into a good ad.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's where business owners need to, the fault of the business owners, they need to change their expectations.
Yeah. And I would just say it could be expectations, it could be the way they understand the industry too. And then it's also on the videographers or production companies to also set expectations as well. But I think, especially in this industry, it's a tough industry. I'm just going to be straight up.
It's the worst.
Media production, it's a hard industry. It's competitive. Everybody's fighting over their piece of the pie.
And everybody has a cousin who can hold a camera.
Yeah, and everybody's got, that aunt who owns a DSLR and could do it for a fraction of the price. And you're like, okay, by all means, I'm not going to fight you on that.
Yeah.
She probably will, but it's not going to look as pretty as mine.
Yeah. Or it might not perform as well.
Exactly. But the expectation for business owners there needs to be a marketing plan. There needs to be that audience and that destination. That needs to be communicated to the creative team. And then the creative team can go execute all day long. Now, if you're looking for somebody who can do it all, you need to have the expectation that's going to cost more.
A lot more.
A lot more. Because now you need a marketer and a creative team. It's twice the work.
Yeah, and I think, so to break down what makes an ad, right? Just for all the people who may not understand what goes into it. There is the copywriting and scripting.
What's the message being told?
What's the message? Like, that's the part that I'm really good at, right?
Yeah.
I can script very compelling messages that are simplified, understanding the cost. Like, that's the part that I live and breathe. But I don't know how to hold a camera and get the lighting right, and make sure that, and then that's two different roles. And then there's another role of editing. How do you make things transition quickly, lining things up with the music, picking the right things? So just there's three roles in making a very simple ad that if you go to somebody and say, hey, can you make me an ad? They might be really good at one of them, right? Like if you came to me and was like, Connor, I see you run Facebook ads, you do all this other stuff. Can you make me an ad? And if it was just for me and my role, I'd be like, I can script you an incredible ad. But you don't want me holding the camera and editing it. It will look like a high schooler did it because I don't have that experience. Now, I have hired people. So the process I did this in solving this problem for my own brands was I would script these ads, and then I hired a video editor to take existing content, and he's really good. Compile the content together, using my copy, using text callouts and the psychology behind the advertising. So we were able to take content from clients that they had, repurpose it, and make good ads.
Yeah.
But then, we wanted our brand to feel more premium. We wanted our brands to not just have this Frankenstein type content, which there's a place for it.
Yeah.
There's certain types of content that perform really well like that, but we wanted cohesiveness with and we wanted our brands to really feel premium. And that's where we had to, find the right people and put them in place like you and Jeff to make sure that our content has all those three pieces to make a really good ad. And that's just on the advertising side of things. There's also the landing page content creation, there's photography, there's the audio editing. If you did a big production, this is what's so fascinating. I think in the last, maybe an episode or two ago, I mentioned we one time did a $70,000 production. There was somebody there whose only job was to make sure the sound sounded amazing. That was his only job.
Yep.
I don't even know what he's called.
Audio engineer.
An audio engineer.
Yeah.
He was an engineer of audio. And his job was to hold the mic, and he was listening to it, and he'd be like, oh, no, that didn't sound good. There's a plane that flew overhead. Let's reshoot and all this. There's so many pieces to it that if you want to do premium stuff, it's a big lift. And so that's where I think business owners are, I don't want to say uneducated, but uninformed about the industry. Is if you go to a videographer, a freelance videographer or anything, you're expecting them to know how to do all of those things.
And normally they don't. When I was running my own production company, I would outsource every time I did a production, I would get an audio engineer so that I'm not directing, working with the client, focusing on the audio. You're gonna screw up, and then your whole production is ruined, right?
And then that's why it costs more money to do a full-fledged production as opposed to the free or the cheap freelancer. The freelancer is going to do everything, but they're going to do one thing really good.
The quality is going to show it,
and then the rest is going to be subpar. And sometimes that can work, but for the most part.
Yeah, and I think it really just depends on the type of content you're trying to produce. If you're trying to do that high-end premium, you're looking at 5 figures or more.
Yeah, at least.
The majority of the time, right?
At least.
Maybe high 4 figures in some cases. And again, it just depends on the quantity of deliverables and what you're looking for. So that's, I think, another thing that's frustrating for business owners is they just want a set price.
Yeah.
What's it going to cost? And the majority of videographers are going to answer, well, it depends. And that's because of all the things you just talked about. Like, what are we going for? Is this a high-end production? Do we need editors? Do we need an audio engineer? Do we need a DP? Do we need PAs on set? Do we need a gaffer? Do we need locations? Do we need actors? And there's so many different factors that go into one little video. And then the post-production side.
Yeah.
How many videos are we giving you on the back end? Are we giving you
how many edits?
The raw footage, and that's it? And you're going to find an editor? Are we coloring it? Are we cutting it? Are we doing a flagship ad? Are we doing social media pieces? Are we doing teasers? There's just so many factors that go into it. And so don't feel frustrated when a creative team's wanting to kind of have those discovery calls with you to truly understand those factors. What are you trying to accomplish? Where are these assets going to be used? Because then we can better understand how to deliver at the quality you need and give you exactly what you need.
Now, we've been pretty pro-creator in this conversation so far.
Very.
Now, I want to be
let's crap on them a little bit.
Let's crap on them a little bit, especially our business partner, Jeff.
Yes.
He's the worst.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Jeff.
He's pretty squirrely,
Very squirrely.
Yeah.
For all of you people listening, he's off set trying to make us laugh.
Yes.
With
a stuffed squirrel.
Yes. Here's where I think, yes, the business owners need to understand the creator side, but I think also the creators need to be better about working with the business owners. Okay. So for example, this is most business owners' experience when they go talk to a creator.
Yeah.
They go to a creator and say, hey.
Now, before you dive in, would you say they're going more to freelancers or more to like a production or a creative agency?
I would say both.
Both, okay.
Both.
Okay.
Again, from the business side of it, my own experience,
yes.
my own, they go and they say, I need content.
Yep.
And the production company wants the client. And I'm not saying they're all like taking advantage and it's like this, they're bad, but they want clients because they got to pay their bills. We're all here to make money. Let's be transparent about that, right? Like, so if somebody comes to us and like, hey, I want to make a video, I need content. The video person's like, well, sweet, I can make you content. And the business owner might not know exactly what they need, or they don't know how to describe it. So the content creator, I don't want to say takes advantage of them, but says, I'm going to make you content. I'm going to get you pictures. I'm going to get you videos. I'm going to get you this, this, and this. And they don't do a good job really identifying what the actual need of the business is. I think you do a great job of like really trying to figure out, okay, this is your needs. This is the kind of content that you're going to need for that.
And I would say it's because now I wear, half creative and then half marketing hat.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Yes, you are.
And I will.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
I'm glad. I think every creative person should come spend like a week in my office just to
Oh yeah, just learn and glean.
Exactly, just to see the business and marketing side of it. But so then the videographer says, okay, it's going to be $3,000 for this video, or the creator, or the production company and stuff, right? And the business owner's like, cool. They pay the money, they get the video. There's some things I don't love about it where it's like, okay, but if you get 2 revisions and then it's, or you have to pay $150 an hour after that. And like, there's this stuff that, or it's like, it's $3,000 and the business owner's like, okay, like, what does that go to? And the creator's like, well, it goes to, doesn't go deep into it, or he goes too deep into it, and I think there's also, the creators will say, the business owner will say, I need some content. And the first thing the creator or the agency or whatever will say is, okay, great. What's your budget? 50,000. Okay, we'll make you a video for 50,000. And you're like, well, what if I would have said 30,000? Would you have made the same video for 30,000 as 50,000? But because I said 50,000, now you're like, sweet, it's 50,000, and you're just going to extra pocket the 20K. Like, that's the side of from the business owner. Like, when they come in and meet with a creator and that's their perspective, like, that's very common. I just met with someone 2 days ago.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't you. No, I met with the business owner. They want us to run advertising for them. And they have no content. Now, for me, it was like, okay, let's identify your actual needs first, because he was like, oh, we need to do lifestyle video. We need to make ads. We need to do this, this, and this, and this. I was like, cool. Well, here's the market. Here's the advertising strategy. Here's the places you need content. Before we get to this ad that you want to make, great, love that. We can totally help with that. Your website needs
a lot of love.
A lot of love. You have no lifestyle creative for the website. You don't have any
good product imagery. I remember looking at this. Yeah.
The product imagery was bad. I think the first thing he says, like, well, that's Photoshop, that's this, and it was bad. So when we talked to the business, I was like, cool, we want to help with you, but first things first, before you do any of that other stuff, we need to do this first. And we just talked about it. I was like, okay, so now we're creating content with purpose, and they're excited. We're excited because we're going to be able to have it seems like we'll have a good long-term content creation. There's a good plan moving forward, multiple phases of really getting them and building them their content library that they need, but we're starting in the right place. We're giving them exactly what they need first. And I think the creative world doesn't do that at all. It's, what's your budget? Okay, I can make you content. And, the business owners a lot of the time, and again, everyone has the responsibility to be educated in what they need to know and everything, but I do think sometimes business owners do get a little taken advantage of. But understandable, right?
Yeah.
The creator is going to make the video, and they are going to do what they say they're going to do, but there's a disconnect and the creator, I don't think creators really understand either that, like, the business owner cares about for an ad, for example. The business owner doesn't care if you used a certain light, or if you used this instead of, a $200 actor, you got a $300 actor. And if you had this type of camera, like the Red or the Phantom or this, and, if we used a nice big robot arm, or if we did, they don't actually care about that. That's all cool, and that there helps with them at the confidence that you're going to do a good job and make a good video. But what they care about is the results. And I think as a creator, you have a responsibility to be transparent with the business owners. Like, hey, I make this very specialized type of content. I'm really good at product pictures. Like, if you're really good at product pictures and somebody asks you to go outside of that, that's fine, but be clear with them, right? I am really good at lifestyle B-roll type content. If that's what you're good at, great, own it. If they ask you to go outside of that, just be like, yeah, I can, but that's not my specialty, right? Or it's like, hey, I'm really good at in-studio product production shots. Like, this is where it's really good to be used as, and this, and this. And I think that can just make the whole business owner content creation world just be a little bit more bearable.
Yeah.
if the creators also get a little bit more educated on how business owners really need that content. Because again, I've done. I worked with a brand like 6-7 years ago, and I was like, hey, you need some sort of video content. And the business owner's like, cool. And then this is like when I'm a freelance media buyer. So I'm like, you create I'll take your existing content, I'll run the ads. He spent $5,000 on a video production shoot. He got all this content, and he got like 1 or 2 edits. He didn't get any of the raw footage. He didn't get any of this other stuff. And it's like, I ran it as an ad for like a week. I'm like, dude, this isn't performing. He's like, dude, I paid $5,000 for this ad. And then the video editor wouldn't even throw text call outs on it without charging another $500, which takes probably an hour. So I'm like, now that I know, I'm like, come on, that's pretty messed up. Like, I understand charging more for the extra work.
Yeah.
But like $500 to throw text call out, you can do that in CapCut, you know. But it just like he told him I need an ad, and the guy's like it was a freelancer. He made an ad, but it wasn't a good ad, you know. And I think that's where the disconnect is. So I do think the fault is at both sides. But you know,
and I really think comes down to expectations on both sides and education on both sides, right? I think every content creator needs to become a better marketer. And I will say, I've seen both sides. I think most of the people I know in the industry tend to be the long game minded creators, where they're not in it to just jump in, make a video, goodbye forever.
Totally.
And I think most have the mindset of, no, you want to come in and have this long-term relationship with the client and be that trusted ally that can create whatever they need. And you can, through the course of building that rapport and relationship and understanding their brand, you come to understand their audiences and their destinations better. And so you can better, you know, adapt what you're creating for them to better suit what their actual needs are, which is, for the most part, an ad that converts to sales.
Yep. And I think that's where also the business owner needs to be better about actually knowing what they need, instead of just saying, I've seen this happen with business owners where, in lots of, not just content creation, but hiring people in general. They hire someone, they say, I need you to come own this thing. They don't understand that thing themselves. They don't understand how the process works. They don't understand X, Y, or Z, so that when they just hand it off to someone who says, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they're just like, here's my, like, they don't set the expectations. They don't understand the processes and everything themselves, so that then they're unhappy with the results. But like, they didn't understand it. They didn't set the expectations or anything like that. So I think that's their mindset, you know, especially in content creation. Like, if you're going to go find someone to make you content, you need to know exactly what that content's for. Don't just like, hey, you seem smart and capable. I like the videos you make. I want you to make me videos that look good. Like, it needs to be, hey, I need content specifically for my website to look like this and this, this, and this. Here's the direction. Here's how I expect it to be considered successful. Here's the path moving forward. And I think if you, as a business owner, if you're listening and you're a business owner, understand content creation, what the content is needed for, before going and hiring someone, and you will have a million times better. Because if you know, like, hey, I need a funny, witty ad because of I'm seeing this performance on this ad or this and this, I want to go deeper in this type of advertising. Go find somebody then who specializes in that kind of ad, because you know that's what you want, and then you can go find them who specialized in that. If you know, like, oh man, this lifestyle kind of content is just doing really well, go find someone who's really good at lifestyle content, like Jake. Jake makes some of the best lifestyle B-roll type content I've seen. You know, if it's like in studio production with like big explosions, splashes, high movement, eye-catching stuff, our partner Jeff is the best at that. You know, and if you want UGC like organic ads, that's what I'm good at. You know, so it's just, you need it, but you as the business owner need to know what you actually need, so that you can go get that and give the direction, and you're just going to be a happier business owner, and you're going to waste a lot less money. So
But yeah, I mean, just to kind of summarize, I think the weight and the responsibility definitely sits on both shoulders.
Yes.
And you would hope that everybody's trying to honestly do business with one another, right? So content creators, if you're not doing that, like, do better.
And if you're, and I would say, I sounded like, probably a little bit harsh of like, well, content creators are taking advantage
there's two sides to
of it.
everything, right?
I do think that a lot of people, it's accidental too, and just
or unintentional,
or subconsciously like, oh yeah, well, I need to pay my bills, so I'll figure out how to make this great ad for this client and stuff. But I do think most content creators are legitimately good people,
good at what they do,
and good at what they do and stuff, and so
But yeah, I mean,
so if you were going to hire someone, what's the first thing that you would? Look for?
I mean, I'll go back to when I was hiring people in-house, whether they were editors or DPs or whatever. The quickest way is to go look at the quality of their work, right? Anybody can say they can, but no, in a creative world, you need to show me you can, right? So occasionally I would kind of send them an assignment of sorts. Hey, here's footage. Here's what you're making. Here's exactly what you're making, right? It's just an organic social post on Instagram, right? You give them very specific, again, what a business owner should be doing with a creative. Give them very specific destination, goal, messaging, everything. We would hand that off and see if they can execute on that.
Yeah.
But step one would be look at their body of work.
Yeah.
Do they have the style that you want? Do they have the coloring that you want? Do they have the editing, post-production style that you want? Do they have the people that are going to be able to execute on the things that you want in the video? And then, I don't think there's anything that beats just having a conversation. So have that discovery call, get a better feel for what they've done in the past, how long have they been doing it, kind of describe your problem. And like you were saying, the business owner needs to be educated, understand what the problem is, understand what you want, and then ask them what they would do in terms of, content or ads or videos. What would they do to solve the problem that you already kind of have a solution in your head for, and see if that matches up. And then also just look at personality. If they have, reviews from previous clientele, check that out, right? It's the social proof you were talking about a couple episodes on landing pages. Do people enjoy it? Are people using them? Do they have consistent work? That can say a lot about, their quality, how they are to work with. But yeah, those are the things I would look at. And like we said, if they kind of have that marketing mind where they're viewing it as a business owner, or they're viewing it as a marketer, they're going to be able to create better content for you, and create something that's actually going to help direct to your destination, to your landing page, whatever it may be, and then convert to sales. Make content that works.
Totally.
Yeah.
Good episode.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I know my throat's all dry from talking so much.
Subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
All that stuff. Notification bells and.
Yeah, and also in the comments below, by all means, let us know certain topics, certain things you'd like to hear on the podcast. That we can obviously sit here and, as marketers shouldn't do, try to guess what the audience wants to hear, or what problems they want solved. So, here's a little, market research, a little,
what questions
request. What questions do you have? Put them below, and I think maybe what we can do is at the end of every episode too, we can just address, one or two questions, or if that question is robust enough, do a full-blown episode, and make sure that we're actually, telling stories and giving information and adding value. So I'm Jake Lewis. This is Connor Wright, and we'll see you on the next episode.